Hi there, good evening and welcome to your Friday night fix of MODUS Super Series darts. 5 players fighting it out for the final 3 places at finals night tomorrow at the Live Lounge. Matthew Edgar has been in our company all week and it's been a really interesting week, hasn't it? We'll start by taking a look at the story of the week so far, and we've got 3 quite sort of new players at finals night.
3 new players that have come through tightly contested groups that came down to the very last game, and even tight in that last game as well, where we didn't really know which way it was going to go. Both games going 2-2 until we finally got our lineup coming through. I'm not sure I see that tonight though with this Group B. I think we're going to have a sort of different tale and a different story to what we've had for the rest of the week so far.
Well, let's show you that story. The Group A winner was Bradley Roos. He made it through on Wednesday. Then this afternoon, as Matt just alluded to, Ivo Lexma and Jensen Walker. Now, Roos is only a 19-year-old kid, but he has been at finals night before. Lexma and Walker both making it on their debuts. Impressive.
And with very limited sort of stage or in front of camera sort of experience as well, which is really impressive, especially when it came down to those crunch matches. Bradley Roos coming through one on the very last game where he had to win to be in, and then the same again this afternoon for Jensen Walker. It all came down to that final game with Michael Huntley. He had to win it. If he lost it, Michael Huntley would be in, and he really did come through that with flying colours. Really had to dig deep at times, and both players showing a lot of credit.
Yeah, really well spoken in his interview afterwards. You can watch that back. You can watch any of the previous streams back here on the YouTube channel. But let's now focus on tonight and Group B. We'll start by showing you the table, how it lies after the first night of action. And John Michael had a bit of a nightmare, but everybody else is really in contention.
I felt a bit of lag really for John Michael. I felt a bit sorry for him actually, because he was the player who missed out to Bradley Roos in that Group A campaign, where he actually was 4 points clear and looked like he was going to qualify. Instead, dropped into a Group B. Didn't quite look himself, wasn't quite as jovial at times, was almost sort of finding that sort of sarcastic humour in the fact that people get hitting shots against him, and it's a hard mindset to break. Hopefully the evening's rest has done him well and he'll come back here refreshed and sort of focused, because he's going to have to win all 4 to have any opportunity.
Yeah, a player that might only have to win 1, probably 2 definitely gets him through. Jeff Smith, you've said a big call that you think he can go and win the whole series. So has he shown enough in that first night to back up that call?
No, there's loads more to come for Jeff Smith. Yes, he had a decent night last night. He picked up enough wins, but I felt at times he was sort of stretching or clinging on to sort of results. He didn't play the sort of dominant darts I'd expect him to have, but on the same aspect, he's got an aura about him. Sometimes it's not just about hitting big numbers, big averages, big shots. It's about that sort of aura and people being able to put you away. And Jeff Smith averaged about 86 yesterday for the entire session, but yet still felt a bit like he was going to win the group, and like he felt like people couldn't get the better of him. So he's got that, and he's got that reputation, he's got that experience. I think he'll win this group, and I've got him for the week at least. 3 wins from 4 matches for him last night. The same record for Andy Hamilton. What did you make of him? Well, I was impressed with Andy Hamilton, and he's sort of someone we thought his career was kind of done for. You know, when he dropped off the PDC tour, he dropped off there with a bit of a whimper, and then sort of started doing the WDF events to start learning how to win again, went to Lakeside, then got his tour card back. Now he's doing well on the seniors tour. He's one of those sort of ever-presents where you can never really write him off, and he's shown that last night. Some of his performances last night and at times was absolutely brilliant. That 158 that he dug out of nowhere to sort of keep him in the game and then go on to win. So you can never write off Andy Hamilton. He's methodical, which is awkward to play, and the fact he plays the game so well, just no one's going to enjoy their game with a hammer.
So look, you're going Jeff Smith to win the group. Are you expecting Hamilton to join him?
Absolutely, yeah. Andy Hamilton to get through, and then it's going to be between David Cameron or Tommy Morris. I think John Michaels probably ran his race here, and he's going to be mightily disappointed to sort of bow out tonight, but maybe it's going to go down to that head-to-head clash between the 2. That might be the difference. Yeah,
absolutely. Tied on points, that pair. John Michael, we'll talk about him because he had kind of a bizarre evening yesterday, didn't he, John Michael? There was a couple of weird things going on for the Greek. First of all, in one of his matches, this was the practice darts against Jeff Smith. I'm all right. I'm all right, Jeff. I don't want to practice. You play. What did you make of that?
I sort of was voicing it over last night because it reminded me of the Harry Redknapp interview with Paolo Di Canio. I know play. I don't want to play.
And that was the fist bump that he avoided as well, with the same match as well with Jeff Smith. And the irony of that is that he's been dishing out fist bumps like he's only got his fist left for one day this week.
Someone hit a double three early on in the week, took out a 6 finish, and he wanted the fist bump. And then at that moment of the game, and the thing was, he fist bumped Jeff Smith after every single one of those legs. So you're thinking to yourself, if you're Jeff Smith, I've kind of got to return it. Even if he didn't want to, he thought that he was obliged to, and he just completely blanked it. It was a really entertaining watch as a nice little subplot, and it'll be interesting tonight to see just exactly what goes on with that.
Yeah, no bet builder tonight because the most requested odds were for John Michael to decline fist bumps and to not practice. So we're just going to give you the outright odds for this evening. And this is how the bookies sit. I mean, he can still remarkably win the group, John Michael. That's a 50-1 shot. But going with you here, the bookies, even though Andy Hamilton and Jeff Smith have got the same record, they're making him 4-5. Odds-on favourite to win the group.
Yeah, I mean, I do think Jeff Smith's going to do it, but look at that value in Andy Hamilton there, 3-1. He's on the same amount of points as Jeff Smith. If he beats Jeff Smith in their head-to-head clash, he's going to have a bit of a buffer there as well. We know he can win groups here. We've seen what he's been doing. He's going to be getting ready to play in Blackpool next week, an event he's qualified through a very tough field of active players on that seniors tour. So he is a player in form. So maybe a squeak of value there in Andy Hamilton, but I'm sticking with Jeff.
And just finally, the other thing those odds sort of reflected was that the bookies do fancy Tommy Morris over David Cameron to get through.
I think that's because of what he's done here in the past, reaching the semi-final. And he's quite an explosive player. He's like an enigma. Like, there's just moments where you think, I think Tommy Morris is struggling here, and then he'll hit a 180. And he's a very fast player. He's an entertaining watch as well. So I think maybe there's a bit of hope in there as well that he gets through to Saturday night because he is an entertaining guy. Yeah,
and he did beat David Cameron last night. Without that win, we could be looking at those 3 players already through.
Yeah, and well, the other thing we've got to look at with the fixture breakdowns over Tommy Morris is the fact of where those games are coming tonight, because his games actually come quite early. So for David Cameron, this is a good position because he can sit back and see it all unfold and know what he's got to do. But Tommy Morris has got to win one of these first 2 games, or we could be looking at an early night.
Yeah, and maybe even the first one, because the first clash is that head-to-head between David Cameron and Tommy Morris. He knows how important it is, and he said as much when I spoke to him earlier this evening. Tommy, just give us your summary of how things went last night for you.
Bit of a shaky start for me, but I mean it's changed here a little bit, and not being away for a little bit of a time. It's nice to be back and sort of just warm my way into it. And I eventually got the win in the end that I needed. So.
Yeah, there was sort of all or nothing, wasn't it? There was big wins, big defeats.
It's just easing my way into it. You know, this place is familiar for me. I've got a 100% record getting a Saturday, so it's just working my way back into that sort of zone. So, yeah.
How important was that last win at the end of the night?
That was it or bust, really. I had to win that, and I sort of relaxed as well towards the end. I think I was trying way too hard, and it's nice to sort of get that sort of edge. So in going into tonight, I can sort of get over the line, hopefully.
Yeah, and it's going to be competitive, at least between 4 of you in this group. How much do you think your experience in getting to Saturday can help you?
It's one of them. This group's quite hard. Looking at the lineup that I had, obviously I've got the experience to play players like that, and I've beaten players of that calibre. It's just sort of just doing my own thing, you know. All I've got to do is play my own game, and I think I'll be all right. You know, it's one of them. I'm good enough to be here, so just got to keep doing my thing.
And I know you've been playing other events in the local area with really good players as well.
Yeah,
Tell us a bit about that, the players
it's great. Beating. It's great. Well, I'm from down in Poole in Dorset, and where I'm from is not that much. So I travel every Tuesday to Southampton, playing the Southampton Super Series. So that's really, really high standard, and that's helping my game. So sort of playing that with like Simon Whitlock and Ryan Finesse and Scotty Mitchell, all them sort of boys, Chaz Barstow. They're all great players, so sort of easing into this standard now, which is benefiting me.
And what would it mean to you to not only get to tomorrow, but maybe take that next step and win a week?
Yeah, I'm more than capable of doing it. I know I can do it. It's just a matter of doing it, and I'm really relaxed today. Hopefully, it goes my way and I can get there.
Good luck.
Cheers. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, great to hear from Tommy Morris, and great to hear the stuff he's been doing away from the Super Series to sharpen up his game. Making that trip to Southampton, as he mentioned, playing some big guns in the world of darts. And he won a big match at the end of last evening, a 4-1 win in this fixture. And had he not done that,
he would have found himself 4 points off the pace. It would have been a very, very big gap to bridge for Tommy Morris. But getting the better of Cameron has put him on a square start with the Canadian here. They're on the same amount of points. Cameron, best known perhaps for his win at the World Seniors Masters in 2022 when he beat Phil Taylor in the final. And Tommy Morris, well, he's looking to do something special here.
First leg,
and
it's
pick
David
up
to
a
throw
first Super Series title tomorrow
Game
night,
on.
having reached the semi-finals twice before.
Well, it sounds like he's attracted to things called Super Series, doesn't it? He said he goes to the Southampton
100.
Series. Now he's here at the MODUS Series. But yeah, jokes aside,
24.
can't imagine the benefit to the game that will be for him to be playing around those sort of players that he's just named, people that have been on the Pro Tour, players that are on the Pro Tour, graced the World Championship stages. You'll see a lot of this hit against him, so you won't panic in a situation like this when you're playing that sort of level on a regular basis. And
59.
people sort of say, you know, play better players, you'll play better. It's a school of thinking I don't fully subscribe to, but on the same aspect, there are benefits, such as you just sort of get desensitised to this level of standard.
It is a group in which any outcome is possible. Anyone can go through, anyone can go out, anyone can win the group.
David, you require 122.
Anyone can finish bottom of the table. For this pair, they're the two most uncertain, really, sitting on 4 points in third and fourth place. The top three go through. And David
90.
Cameron thinking better of going for the bullseye.
95.
A sensible play
David,
there
you
from
require 32.
David Cameron. Leaves himself double 16. He's going to get a couple of handfuls of darts if he needs them.
Game shot on the
But he
first
doesn't need
leg.
them.
David Cameron.
Good 15 dart leg there to kick off the campaign for David Cameron. And if you're John Michael in the back
Second
room
leg,
now,
it's Tommy
set
to
bottom
throw
of the
first.
table, this
Game
is
on.
not the ideal game for you, because this means the top three are all going to be on 6 points, and the most he can get to is 8.
100.
He's probably going to feel like he's got no chance tonight, even though mathematically he does.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think you sort of started to feel that last night, and that might be why
96.
some of the antics we just saw were in play, because that was his last match. The little clips we saw against Jeff Smith when he didn't want to
60.
practice, didn't want to fist bump, probably didn't want to play.
Probably felt like he's took one knock too many after what happened to him at the back end of the Group A campaign.
40.
Both him and David Cameron
100.
started the week in their Group A campaign and ended up in Group B due to finishing in positions 2 and 3. David Cameron was actually top of the table after day 1.
Yeah, but he had the kind of opposite ending to Michael, didn't he? He had to win his match to get into Group B.
108.
Where had Michael won his last match, he would have won the group. Cameron beat McEwen, who has
41.
departed us. He won't be adding to his Super Series Roll of Honour.
I suppose in that scenario, one player was happy to be in Group B and one was
90.
disappointed. Goes down to that old sort of 66 philosophy, doesn't it? If you get the treble 20 with the last start, you're delighted.
55.
But if you get the treble 20
David,
with the
you
first
require
start and end up with
95.
66, you're fuming.
Yeah, quite. And I think Tommy Morris might be fuming here because David Cameron is holding all of the aces at the moment, and a bullseye will see him double his lead.
70.
Can't
Tommy,
locate
you require
the red bit.
145.
Oh, this would really ignite Tommy's charge, but he can't find the second
89.
requisite treble.
David, you require 25.
Double 10 to break the throat.
Game
And
shot
put
on the
himself in
second
a
leg.
very
David
strong position
Cameron.
here to get him onto 6 points and put a bit of a gap
Third
now
leg,
between
it's
him
David
and
to
the
throw
chasing
first.
pack.
We did
Game
mention
on.
the result in this match last night. Tommy Morris won it 4-1. What we haven't mentioned yet is that Tommy Morris lost his first match last night 4-0. He had a really slow start. He was sluggish against Jeff Smith. And he was
55.
made to pay by the Canadian. And it's looking like he's just feeling his way in a little bit tonight as well.
66.
I mean, looking at the fixtures and the breakdown of how it's going to come tonight, we could be in a situation where by game 3, we kind of know the 3 players we're going to get through. Coming up next, Jeff Smith takes on John Michael. A win
85.
there will move Jeff Smith on to 8, and John Michael would be pretty much done for. Then Tommy Morris takes on Andy Hamilton.
100.
That could be pretty much the group decider if the results go the right way.
Yeah, well, ultimately this could be the deciding match, couldn't it, between these 2 players. This afternoon, the last match was decisive. In many ways, we may look back at this match as being the one
81.
that determined whether it was Morris or Cameron that made it through.
We have been spoilt though this week, haven't we, in regards to
78.
group campaigns going down to the very last game and near enough the very last leg.
Yeah, it's the way it's happened all week. And expect it to happen again at finals night in that short round robin format, 2 groups of 3.
58.
Very quickly becomes knockout darts effectively. Then it is actually knockout darts with the final 4, the semis and final. All the action gets
45.
underway from 7:30 p.m. on a Saturday night. You can watch it live here on the YouTube channel, or you can come down to the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. Tickets are available. All you've got to do
58.
is book yours via dartshop.tv.
97. David, you require 164.
Well, David Cameron might be going the right way about booking his.
96. Tommy, you require 115.
The friends and family of Tommy Morris being a local will certainly want to be booking theirs, but Tommy's got to get there first.
55. David, you
He's
require
in trouble
68.
here if David Cameron can convert the 68. He's going to get 2 darts.
Double 2.
Game shot on the 3rd leg. David Cameron.
A shake of the head for Tommy Morris. He knows he's not firing
4th
in the early
leg.
part
It's
of this
Tommy to
game.
throw first. Game on.
Around about a 10-point difference in the averages and reflected in the scoreline.
Exactly what happened last night against the
85.
other Canadian in the group. Jeff Smith did this to Tommy Morris. 2 4-0 defeats and a 4-0 defeat and a 4-1 win, and
140.
4-1 defeat and a 4-0 win for Tommy Morris last night. A bit of symmetry, but it was all or nothing, really.
39.
I don't want to panic the friends and family of Tommy Morris too much, but the darts are a bit more wayward tonight. A lot of 1s, a lot of 5s, and that has been the ingredients
100.
for the end result of, at the moment, not even getting a dart at the double.
60.
And he might not. The 9 darts of Tommy Morris have been significantly outscored by the 6 of Cameron.
121. 45. David, you require
not how he wanted to start.
140.
Spoke about it as well. He was aware that he started slowly last night. He knew he needed to start a lot quicker, and he said he felt better. He won't be
Game
feeling
shot
very
and the
good now
match,
because
David
David Cameron has dished out a real battering here. It's another 4-0 defeat for Tommy Morris to open his evening's action. It's Cameron, though, who won every leg and did it emphatically. Morris just could not get going, couldn't get down to a double and have a go at one. And David Cameron, well, he signed off in style with that 140 checkout, a 91 average for him. And he now is sitting pretty. Not only has he moved on to 6 points, he's actually gone top of the table. The man he replaced can replace him next, Jeff Smith, who takes on John Michael. Well, what a start to the night. Friday night, fright night for Tommy Morris. A darting disaster for the pool player on the dartboard. 4-0 defeat to Canada's David Cameron. And now another man from the same part of the world, Jeff Smith, back on the hockey, and he's got plenty to smile about. Start of the night, top of the table. The 48-year-old former Lakeside finalist back in 2016. He takes on John Michael, the best player ever to pick up a dart in his home country of Greece. Won as many national titles there as Phil Taylor won world titles. An absolute legend in his home country. But he has had a disastrous time in Group B, having been a win away.
First leg, it's Jeff to throw first.
From winning
Game
Group
on.
A, he hasn't won a single match in this group. And he's already up to some antics, Matthew.
97.
It's a fun watch, isn't he, John Michael? And I'm sure we'll enjoy watching him tonight. Not only that, but he's a very, very good dart player as well. You mentioned the 16 Greek
85.
championships. He's played on multiple times the World Championship stage, World Cup.
44.
Somewhere Jeff Smith has represented as well. The World Cup of Darts, now a pairs event by
60.
popular demand. People do love watching a game of pairs, actually, don't they? I think it'd be interesting if you'd pick your own partner.
60.
Who would you pick?
Luke Littler.
58.
I thought you'd go for one of your mates or something. No, you just want to win.
Well, who would you pick then?
140.
Well, I was going to pick you, obviously, but now you've gone with Luke Littler. I'll have to go with Michael Van Gerwen, won't I?
100.
Actually, I might just go with
Jeff,
John
you
Michael
require
for the fun.
160.
Jeff Smith having plenty of fun on the dartboard. Won this game last night
41.
by 4 legs to 2.
$92.
This
Jeff,
is one
you
of the
require
finishes that when you're playing your
119.
finishing games and your practice games, no one wants to have the 119. It's a bit of a running joke on the practice board because it's just one of those really awkward checkouts.
74. John, you require 106. $74. Jeff, you require 45.
Little cheeky one from John Michael. Leaving himself on double 16 in case Jeff Smith can't hit it himself, but he
It's
can.
on a first leg.
And
Jeff
he takes
Smith.
the opening leg.
Second leg, it's John to throw first. Game on.
Looks very
60.
relaxed, doesn't he, John Michael? It's as if he sort of knows his fate. He's sort of accepted he's not getting through, and maybe he's just going to have a bit of fun up there tonight and just
100.
enjoy the time you get. I mean, one of the things you've always got to remember, and it is kind of a negative mindset at the same time, though,
100.
is you never know when you're going to be back up on a stage like this or have this opportunity again. So when it is over in terms of the qualification, you've got to enjoy it and try and
125.
take in the memories, try and get something positive from it.
100.
It does seem like a guy who just really enjoys his darts anywhere. Now he may have felt disappointed
58.
at how it went last night, but even just around the venue, the players, they do various challenges that get put out on YouTube and other
60.
social media platforms, and he always seems to be really into them, doesn't he, John Michael?
You're right, he just loves darts, and whether it's playing or just being involved in any way or capacity that he can, he does have his own shop as
45.
well over in Greece where he sells darts to the locals and practices with people in his local area in the shop.
137. $60. John, you require 44.
Double 16 to level this one.
Game shot on a
Which he
second
does
leg. John Michael.
very nicely indeed.
Third leg, it's Jeff to throw first. Game on.
I do believe I've seen some photos this afternoon, actually. Jeff Smith meeting up with Paul Nicholson, going out for a spot of lunch this
85.
afternoon.
Yeah, they are good friends, aren't they, Jeff and Paul? Paul absolutely adores Canada. In fact, he will be in the comms box tomorrow night. And if Jeff Smith is here, I'm sure he'll be able to tell you one or two tales.
140. 140.
It'll be a really international feel, won't it? We'll have a Canadian on the stage, an Australian in the commentary box.
Why, who else is coming? England's Paul Nicholson,
98.
part of our broadcast team tomorrow night. And he'll be watching as well. So we'll have to get him in the studio and get him to tell us. Bring your passport, Paul.
60. 58.
Well, this could be a chance here for John Michael. He needs to be perfect. He needs to win all 4 games. Which means he needs to find a
60.
breaker throw, and that's
Jeffrey
where you want a
Require,
140.
120.
This may hurt him.
100.
Just caught the flight of the dart
Johnny
that was
Require,
below the
116.
double bed. Giving Michael his opportunity. Needs to find the treble 19. Can't. So Smith with 3 clear.
98.
And double 10.
Jeff, you require 20.
He gobbles these chances up for fun, does Jeff Smith.
No score.
Well,
Johnny
this is interesting because John
18.
Michael at a treble 20 to leave double 9.
Game shot on a
That's
third
why.
leg.
He
John
loves it.
Michael.
He leads it. Jeff Smith made a mess.
Fourth leg,
John
it's
Michael
John to throw first.
Capitalised. And one thing we haven't really discussed, I know we've sort of written John Michael off just because of the strength of the group, because of the position of him and everybody else in it.
140.
But you just said he needs to win all 4. He's capable of doing that, isn't he?
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. He's got the quality.
95.
Don't win tour cards unless you've got that touch of class. It wasn't that long ago that he was on the Pro Tour. Sort of been
28.
on and off it for quite some time now as John Michael, with relevant success.
131.
I've never seen that before, but I can see the thinking and I quite like it because that's left open now the 25
60.
and bull option if Jeff Smith only gets the 1 treble with the first 2 darts.
Oh, well, that was the
83.
intention. Exactly as predicted.
100. 100. 57. Jeff, you require 92.
Oh, he's gone double-double. Of course he has. It's his favourite double.
74.
It was off the radar
John,
last
you
night.
require 116.
Unable to find it twice.
Game shot on the fourth flag.
Big
John
hit,
Michael.
big moment, big blow for Jeff Smith, and John Michael is in the group. He's in the
Fifth
tie.
flag. It's Jeff to throw
He's
first.
in the battle.
Game on. $140.
Well, we was suggesting that there's a chance that this group could be pretty much wrapped up
45.
by game number 3.
John Michael's having none of it.
$57. 140.
There might be a little bit of instant relief for
57.
Tommy Morris. Yes, Michael will be closing the gap on him, but he's keeping a player on 6 points. And he's going to play David Cameron in his next game.
140.
Could he make a nuisance of himself tonight, John Michael?
$140.
Well, he's just said to Jeff Smith, take this
You
107
require 107.
or you're going to lose this game, pal. And it is on. Double 16.
75. John, you require
Well, the real John
40.
Michael has stood up. Double 10.
Game shot.
And
Undermatch.
Michael
John Michael.
avenges that defeat against Jeff Smith last night and suddenly gets us thinking about him. After losing all of his games on the opening night of Group B, Michael has beaten the overnight league leader Jeff Smith by 4 legs to 1 and maybe, just maybe, has put himself in the picture. Can Andy Hamilton be the first player to make it to 8 points? We'll find out after the break when he takes on Tommy Morris. Game 3 then of our 10 tungsten tear-ups tonight at the MODUS Super Series. It's Tommy Morris against Andy Hamilton. Both of them based down on the south coast. Tommy Morris from Poole looking to come back from a poor performance in his opener. Meets Andy Hamilton now set in Southampton, the Hammer, having made the move from Stoke-on-Trent, a real hotbed of darting talent. And Tommy Morris goes and wins tournament on his doorstep. But Hamilton, with a win here, could really take command of this group. He would be the first player to 8 points, and he would be there after everybody had played 5. But if Morris beats Hamilton, then there will be 4 players on 6. The Gun, who has represented England, is looking to bounce back from that 4-0 defeat to David Cameron in his first game. This is the first outing of the evening for Hamilton, who won 3 of his 4 fixtures on Thursday night.
First leg, it's Tommy to throw first. Game on.
Tommy's going to need to find some of that international quality, though, here. Because he didn't even manage to get a dart at a double in his opening game. But kind of a similar theme yesterday. Game number 1, he went down without much of a battle, had 3 darts at a double in that game. But then, for his performance of the night in game number 2, when he bounced back with victory.
One thing he did say in his interview, Tommy, that we played out before his first game is that it's changed here since he last came. So a little insight to behind the scenes, but the practice room's now in a different place to where it was. It's a bigger space. Can that kind of thing have an effect? Going into the same venue, but it being different?
Yeah, it does, yeah, because, I mean, I've played here and I've spent quite a lot of my life down in this venue now, doing the commentary and the punditry.
140.
However, when you come down as a player, it's a completely different vibe and feel, and you're in a different room, in a different area, and absolutely it makes a difference.
$140. Tommy required 96.
Well, Morris, as Matthew mentioned, didn't get a double in his first game. He's got one in the first leg of his second game, and he's hit it.
First leg, Tommy
Morris making amends straight away.
Second leg, it's Andy to throw first. Game on. $45.
Doesn't dart hold for Tommy Morris. Hamilton didn't do much wrong. He tossed 9 darts himself and was left on 85 when Morris went out.
That's why if anyone ever asks, what is the advantage of throwing first, that is exactly it.
180.
First maximum of the game goes the way of Andy Hamilton.
Tommy's last score was 100.
A little correction for the previous score. Tommy scoring 100 with each of his first 2 visits. Andy Hamilton can't stay out of the red bit so far.
140. $59. Andy require 136.
Strong start. Strong player. Will have a foot through the door if he's able to get the victory here over Tommy Morris.
96. $100. Andy, you require 40. Game shot on a second
Well, it was a
leg,
12-dart
Andy
leg
Hamilton.
from Tommy Morris to hold his throw, and now Andy Hamilton holds his in 13.
Third leg, it's Tommy to throw
To get
first.
that breaker throw,
Game
Hamilton
on.
would have had to have gone out in 9, and Tommy would have to have gone out in 12. That is what you call clinical holding of throw.
99.
Yeah, really strong stuff. And whichever 3 players go through to finals night from this group, it's going to be a really strong trio. And you'd be well advised to book your
93.
tickets to come and watch tomorrow. Both of these players have local support.
68.
Oh, look at those numbers. That is ridiculous from Andy Hamilton.
He's even got 2 180s.
57.
Well, you can see that
100.
you just saw the drop from one visit there.
$98.
Just goes to show how impressive that performance was of Darryl Pilgrim when he
44.
set that venue average. The 1-2-2. Just one dart when you run at those sort of averages can just obliterate those stats. Now, I'm not sure that's a record that's going to
95.
be beaten anytime soon. That was literally the best average of any match of darts during 2023.
Yeah, and
140.
incredible spell he had.
And
In
he
the space of an hour, he had 2 records.
158.
Highest losing average and highest average.
This was the shot yesterday that really turned things for Andy Hamilton. 158. We know it's not going to go on
92.
this occasion.
Tommy, you
But
require
this has to go
50.
for Tommy. He needs some more positivity.
Wow, that is a wild one. Well, Tommy the Gun here is a loose cannon at the
18.
moment.
Andy, you require 66.
Andy Hamilton would hardly believe what he's just watched, but be very grateful.
Game shot on the third leg.
I'll
Andy
tell you what, it's
Hamilton.
taken him a fair few years, but Andy Hamilton's finding the kind of form so far in
Fourth leg, it's Andy
2024
to throw first.
that
Game
saw
on.
him reach all those big major latter stages, including a World Championship final. He's been really impressive this year.
And what a time for him to really find some form with that Champion of Champions event coming up
96.
just in a week's time, where he'll be looking to pick up his first seniors major title. Champion of Champions coming up in Blackpool,
45.
where he'll be taking on John Henderson, the seniors world champion in the opening game.
Yeah, tickets for that are actually available via the same website as tickets for the Super Series. Dartshop.tv, the place to go
134.
if you want to be at one of the World Seniors events, or indeed if you want to be here at the Super Series on a Saturday night. And
40.
if you've got your smartphone handy, we can provide you with a nice QR code there to scan. Do that
the
now.
Quick response code, Murph.
Exactly right. And that will take you direct to the ticket page for Super Series
61.
event tickets. You won't pay a penny for your ticket. It's just a very, very small fee for the booking transaction. And come and have a great night
24.
watching Arras up close and personal at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth.
Been running over 100 average for the entirety of this match as Andy Hamilton.
60. $137. Andy, you require 150.
Well, this is turning into the
96.
nightmare scenario for Tommy Morris as he stares a second defeat in the face. Or will if Hamilton
100.
converts this?
Andy, you require 54.
Tops the target. He's just hit with the first throw
Game
at
shot
it.
on the
He's done it
fourth
again.
leg. Andy Hamilton.
This is brilliant from Andy Hamilton. Peaking at the right time of year.
Fifth leg, it's Tommy to throw
Into one of
first.
those big major
Game on.
events.
100.
You mentioned that record average from Daryl Pilgrim. He holds the 2 highest averages here at the MODUS Super Series. Hamilton remains in 3 figures in this game, but not quite at that astronomical level that we saw earlier in the match when he was in the 120s.
100.
Third highest for anybody that's interested is Luke Littler. The highest average we've seen in a final when he beat Andy Barton's 4-0 and averaged 117.88 in the process.
85.
He features twice in the top 10. Does Littler? Well, those top 2, Daryl Pilgrim, not just on the same day, but pretty much
57.
40 minutes apart. Back-to-back matches, incredible.
What number am I?
100.
I've only got the top 4,000 here. Would you know what your highest average was here?
No, I don't even.
Would you know what your highest average was anywhere?
100.
Not a clue, to be honest. Not a clue. I was never really a stickler for averages, to be honest.
45.
I've just been told what your rolling average is, and I'm quite frankly rolling on the floor laughing.
134.
Yeah, I wanted to go home after hearing it, to be honest, myself.
68. Andy, you require 110.
Only 2 players below, and they've both got jobs as commentators here as well. Well, Andy Hamilton could put an end to this game with a ton topper. Hasn't missed a dart at a double, and he won't miss a dart at a double. That is a quite simply outstanding performance by Andy Hamilton. A 4-1 win, an average of over 100, and 4 out of 4 on the doubles, capped off with that 110. This time, not a lot Tommy Morris could do, but it is 2 defeats for him, and it's looking worrying for Morris at the moment because he has been absolutely hammered by Hamilton. Coming up next, John Michael looking to double his win tally for the night, as is David Cameron. Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where David Cameron is looking for a second win of the night, and so is his opponent in this one, John Michael, who didn't win a single game last night but got the better of Jeff Smith, the other Canadian in the group, in his opener. Cameron beat Tommy Morris 4-0. Morris has since gone down 4-1 to Andy Hamilton, who has moved on to 8 points and is looking in a very good place. In fact, he's one win away from qualification now, the Hammer. If Cameron wins this, he'll join him on 8. If Michael wins it, he'll just be 2 points behind David Cameron and Jeff Smith, and suddenly in contention. I don't think he's really interested in playing darts, though, in this group, John Michael. He's having too much fun. There's a fist bump to start off proceedings, and he's practising as well. Shake of hands for the referee, Jack Garwood. I was going to say what a difference a win makes, but he's been like this all week anyway.
First leg, it's John to throw first. Game on.
I mean, it would be one of the greatest escapes we've ever had here at the
100.
Super Series if he was still to be able to qualify after losing all his games. But he just strikes me as he's got the right demeanour tonight. He's got the right attitude to go and get the job done. He doesn't look like he's over-pressurising the situation,
41.
just taking it all in his stride and trying to allow that Greek brilliance to come through.
60.
Did start the night well. John
59.
Michael, he got the 4-1 victory over Jeff Smith. But he's going to need to go through the card. He's going to need to beat Tommy Morris, Andy Hamilton, and first up
60.
David Cameron to give himself any hope of being here tomorrow night. We know half of the lineup. Andy Hamilton will probably feel like he's pretty much there.
100.
Yeah, if he beats Smith in the game that follows this, he will be there.
125.
David Cameron can put himself in a very strong position, but John Michael can really upset the apple cart with a victory in this one.
41. John, you require 156. 60. 60. John, you require 96.
8.
80.
We will be able to return back to the Oki. David Cameron a long way back here. Not a replica of that first performance where he did come off a very comfortable winner, 4-0 victory over Tommy Morris.
140. John, you require 16. Game shot on the first leg.
And it's
John
strange how we
Michael.
get these little patterns in play, isn't it? Andy Hamilton yesterday in his opening game was 100% on the finishers, 4 from 4.
Second leg.
He
it's
followed
David
that up
to throw
today in his
first.
first game, 4 from
Game on.
4. David Cameron yesterday opened up near 90 average in the first and then dropped into the 70s for
100.
his second game. He was in the 90s again for game number 1 and he started slow again here.
45. 60. 140. 100. 100.
Well, this is the second match for both these players. Remaining fixtures for David Cameron are against Andy Hamilton and Jeff Smith.
140.
The man who won 4-0 in his first match tonight could end up being in trouble if he loses this one.
And that'll bring back bad vibes as well, because
41.
he did go into Tuesday top of the league in Group A and ended up having to go into a last game shootout with Jim McEwen just to get into Group B. And it's not like that bad
54.
memory was that long ago, so it'll still be very fresh in the mind for David Cameron.
Well, he is on course to level up here, but John Michael is going to put some pressure
99. David, you require
on.
47.
Just visible in the rear view mirror of David Cameron. He wants double 16 to ensure the leg is his. Double 8 now.
39.
Gets neither, and
John,
Michael
you require 76.
has an opportunity.
It's a leg that felt like it was always going to go the way of David Cameron. John Michael
60.
just kept at arm's length,
David, you
but
require
2
8.
missed darts there to get the break. Doesn't need to break the throw, just got to hold on to his own.
Game shot on the second
And
leg.
that is the
David
next
Cameron.
task in hand for John Michael.
And Michael has been crossing
Third leg,
swords
it's
with
John to
Excalibur
throw
all
first.
week.
Game on.
Both played in Group A. It was actually the very first fixture of the week. Cameron won it 4-1. Michael then won 4-3 when the pair
85.
met for the second time on Tuesday. It was Cameron who won on Wednesday and Thursday 4-2 and 4-3.
41.
There is still the possibility that they'll meet for a sixth time this week, and that would be
81.
at finals night. The field filling up. Bradley Roos is there. Ivo Lexma is there. And Jensen Walker,
60.
the 17-year-old, who will actually play Bradley Roos in the opening match tomorrow night.
60. $60. $139. $180.
Nice timing there for
John, you
David
require
Cameron to get the
136.
opening max of the game. But it's going to have to be one of those big 6-dart
96.
conversions here if he's going to
David,
get
you
the
require
break a throw.
160.
And that's not going to happen. Michael will have a look at tops.
27. John, you require 40. 30.
Still
you
David
require
Cameron's on a biggie.
133.
The slap of the thigh for John Michael, the sign of frustration, the fact
43.
that he's had darts in every single
John,
leg
you
so
require
far.
10.
Double 5 is not ideal, so he chooses to split. Good decision, I feel, that for John
Game shot on
Michael.
the third leg.
A player
John
whose
Michael.
darts land flat in the board. If he would have hit one on the top wire, it would have got very tricky for him there on double 5 as he
Fourth
invites
leg,
David
it's
Cameron to have a throw.
first. Game
Basically
on.
invite him to move out of his way. That's where I'm going to stand, mate. You get on with it. That's
121.
one way of trying to dictate the pace, isn't it?
$135.
I'm just watching your face while you're watching John Michael. You love watching this guy.
Yeah, he's a big favourite of mine so far this series.
180.
David Cameron, though, becomes a firm favourite for this leg.
85.
Second max of the match for David Cameron.
$140. $140. David, you require 60. Game shot on the 4th leg, David Cameron.
Cameron gets a leg in a dozen darts.
5th
Really
leg, it's
solid
John to
stuff.
throw first. Game on.
But Michael, as Matt mentioned, just has to keep holding his own throw, doesn't need to worry about a break.
140.
I'm laughing again at John Michael. He basically almost just walked across the front of David Cameron as he was about to throw.
100.
He cares not for rules, John Michael. He will walk where he wants when he wants.
140.
Look at that for corner cutting. He's not even left the exclusion zone at all.
140. $100.
Rock solid leg there with the throw for John Michael. This is all he's got to do. Sounds simple, doesn't it? Just hold your throw and you win.
140.
Equally
Johnny
a good
require
leg here from
121.
David Cameron. Both finding 5 big major trebles with the opening
57.
9 darts.
David, you require
And
121.
therefore both leaving 121 after those 3 visits. Neither able to convert it.
30. John, you require 64.
He's made a mess of that, which will give some encouragement to John Michael. It's double 16.
32. David, you require 91.
He's got choices here. The safe play is to go for the bullseye. There's aggressive options with treble 17, but he goes 25, 16, and the bull.
66.
Can't find the bull at the
John,
end.
you require 32.
That is a beautiful lie there for John Michael. Just expecting. Oh, he'll
No
be
score.
disappointed. That was
David, you
absolutely
require
perfect for the way his
25.
darts laid. Just to put one on top. David Cameron now a chance to dish out the punishment and break the throw of John Michael.
5.
Can't do it.
John, you require 32.
David Cameron can't find the keys to number 10.
Game shot
John
on the 5th
Michael
leg. John Michael.
May have unlocked the combination to victory tonight.
6th
He enjoyed
leg,
that
it's
so
David
much,
to
he
throw
threw his
first.
third dart through the back
Game
of the
on.
dartboard. Even the referee, Jack Garwood, had to give him a little bit of a look then.
58.
Calm down, John. He's always doing something, isn't he?
108.
How about hitting 180s? That's what he'll be wanting to do, and that's what he needs to do. His first maximum of the game. The third in total. 2-1 in favour of David Cameron on the 180 stakes.
100.
Not going to do it
100.
in the most spectacular style, but John Michael's closing in here on back-to-back wins after 4 straight defeats in this group.
123.
Could not win last night, cannot lose tonight,
45.
but he has lost his way a little bit in this leg with that visit.
50.
Leaves the biggest finish of them all. We have seen it this week. We normally get at least one a week, don't we? Maybe David Cameron can give us
60.
2.
David, you require 170.
Can't get 2 treble 20, so
130.
John Michael for the match, for the second win tonight. It's on. It's on.
96.
It's gone for now.
David, you require 40.
To take us all the way.
Game shot on the 6th leg.
And we do go the distance.
Cameron.
This could be enormous for both players. This leg of darts could be
7th
huge.
and final leg. It's John to throw first. Game on.
If John Michael holds his throw and wins this leg, he closes the gap to David Cameron and indeed Jeff Smith to just 2 points, and it puts himself in contention for a top 3 finish
85.
and a place at finals night. He leaves David Cameron vulnerable with Smith and Hamilton still to play. The other 2 players occupying top 3 spots right now. But if Cameron wins it,
139.
he moves on to 8 points with Andy Hamilton and will look a shoe-in for the Saturday finale.
41.
It's a big leg for John Michael. All the pressure on his shoulders. His chance of qualification is just slipping through his fingers.
40.
Well, he's done all the hard work, but the baton has been returned for Michael to run with.
81.
Minimum requirement there, just get a treble. Keep himself with hope. But this is where you start watching and you start looking at what
60.
your opponent's doing and hoping they miss. That's when it just gets a little bit edgy.
99.
But he's getting down. He'll be fancying he's going to get an opportunity here, John Michael.
$92.
Second leg on the spin, Cameron leaves the big one.
47.
John Michael's not in a
David,
much
you
better
require
position.
170.
You'd make Cameron a slight favourite now.
59.
Well, this is in the balance.
John, you require 148.
It certainly does mean a lot more to John Michael at the moment in the context of the table. He's just got to set it as close as he can. He needs a treble.
58. David, you
Could
require
just be a dart of the
111.
ball, but first he's got to dodge this from David Cameron. We'll look down at the treble 17. Can't find John Michael. You feel this is
51.
his opportunity and his moment.
John, you require 90.
Can he keep himself in the fight? Double 15. Oh no. Oh no, no, no.
84.
In a wire. In a
David,
game
you
that's gone
require
to the
60.
wire. And now David Cameron will get his chance to win it.
Game shot.
And he
the
does
match.
win it.
David Cameron.
Cameron claims the points. John Michael had his opportunity. He knows that that is a big, big chance gone begging. Having won his first match tonight, he was in the box seat to win his second and really turn up the heat on the top 3. But instead, it looks like the end for John Michael as David Cameron moves a step closer to finals night tomorrow. And Andy Hamilton, well, he can secure his spot if he can beat Jeff Smith in the next game. So, big game, as they all have been so far, but this is one which could see a player secure their spot at finals night on Saturday. If Andy Hamilton can get the better of Jeff Smith here, that will be the hammer through to the finals. He's on 8 points. 10 is guaranteed now to make it through to finals night. As for Jeff Smith, if he wins this, then he'll join Hamilton and David Cameron on 8. And to be honest, it would be looking like it will be those three going through if that is the case.
It's starting to take a little bit of shape here. I don't think this can be a group where it comes down to the very last game like we have seen so far in our Group A and Group C campaigns.
First leg, it's Andy to throw first. Game on.
Also, if Jeff Smith wins this match, it would officially eliminate John Michael. That last leg decider defeat proving to be pivotal for the charismatic Greek.
57. $44.
I think even though we may find out before the end of the night who the top three are and the three players that will qualify through, I think the battle to see who's going to win this group is going to come down to the very wire. There are bonuses, perks, extra prize money now for finishing higher in the league positions.
137. $76.
Next match after this is Tommy Morris and John Michael. Morris will really be hoping for Hamilton to win here, because then if he can beat John Michael, he'll be level on points with Jeff Smith and still has Smith to play.
$101.
Good thinking by the hammer to ensure he left to check out. And what a performance he put on in his first match. Just like the previous night, 4 out of 4 on his doubles.
140.
He also managed to record a 3-figure average, Andy Hamilton, in his opening game.
$83. Jeff, you require 120.
Double top for Jeff Smith. Can't find it. Hamilton will get a go at the 84.
$78.
Well, I mentioned about those patterns
Jeff, you
of play.
require 20.
Andy Hamilton, how he was 4 from 4 in his first game yesterday, and then today in the next game he's only 1 from 14.
No score. Andy, you require 6.
But that's interesting. Interesting from Andy Hamilton.
Game shot on the
But it's
first
effective.
leg. Andy Hamilton.
He blocked it and he decided, you know what, I'm going to split it. I think I've got a better chance with one
Second
dart
leg,
at
it's
double
Jeff to
2
throw first.
than with 2 at that block
Game
double
on.
3, and he was proved right.
$100.
He
98.
did appear to represent a little bit of a value play tonight, didn't he, Andy Hamilton, at odds of 3-1, and if he does get the victory here over Jeff Smith, that 3-1 will look like a great shout for anyone who decided to follow that value line.
Yeah, Smith was the odds-on favourite to win this group.
93.
Both he and Andy Hamilton started the night with the same record. But if Andy Hamilton wins this game, he will be on 10 points. He'll be the first there. And he will
100.
be confirmed as the first player through from Group B to finals night. It'll be Hamilton on 10, David Cameron on 8, and Jeff Smith on 6, the top three, with Tommy Morris staying in contention on 4
44.
points, and John Michael just clinging on to an outside hope on 2.
$130. $58. Jeff, you require 71. $51. $100. Jeff, you require 20.
For a level game, target he's already missed a fair few
Game
opportunities
shot on
that he
second
could have been
leg,
2-0
Jeff
up here,
Smith.
Jeff Smith. Instead, it's 1 apiece.
Third leg, it's Andy to throw first. Game on. $100. $45.
I think it's a fair thing to say that when the odds compilers make their decisions for tomorrow, that the
115.
favourite, maybe even the top 3 favourites, are going to come from this group.
$91.
Yeah, I think that's a very safe assessment when we look at the sort of sessional averages of the Group A and Group C campaigns. Certainly the Group B, a lot more fiercely contested.
140.
I think that would count with any 3 of the 5 players that go through. A lot of inexperience, but excitement, potential in the 3 that are there already.
Andy, you
Ivo
require
Lexmer,
146.
Bradley Roos, and 17-year-old Jensen Walker. But plenty of experience in this group.
19. $57. Andy, you require 127. $87.
Just the one major treble here for Jeff Smith in this leg. He's completely lost his scoring boots.
100. Andy, you require 40.
Needs to find a break from somewhere. And Andy Hamilton just looking like he's going to serve this one out with
Game shot on the third
very,
leg.
very
Andy
little
Hamilton.
resistance and comeback there from Jeff Smith.
Fourth leg, it's Jeff to throw first.
It
Game
hasn't
on.
been the spectacular showing that Hamilton produced in his opening win. He beat Tommy Morris 4-1.
100.
He was never really known as a spectacular player, though, was he, Andy Hamilton, in his heyday? He was always very much known as one of those grinders.
$140.
Can you think of someone you'd compare him to, sort of in the modern game?
100.
Really good question. I mean, he was right up there, wasn't he, in the high reaches of darts. I think that the sort of closest player I would say in the modern
100.
game, although the people will push back on this because the guy I'm going to mention has won a world championship. Andy Hamilton didn't. He reached a final, didn't win a major title, but he reminds me a little bit of Rob Cross in the modern game.
140.
I was going to go with Danny Noppert.
Yeah, I can see that.
Should we pass it to our chat box as well?
Let's. Who is the modern PDC version of Andy Hamilton?
91.
2024
Jeff Uruguay, 161.
Most of the chat is just hammer emojis at the moment. So we'll give you something with substance to comment about.
96.
Yeah, let's hope
Andy
Van
Uruguay,
Dijvenbode never plays here
170.
if that's the game you're going to play. Can Andy bring the hammer down on a enormous outshot? Not going to take out the biggest of them all.
105. Jeff Uruguay, 65.
Goes for the treble 11.
45.
Can't complete the combo.
Andy Uruguay, 65.
Can't see Hamilton going the same route. Yeah, the more often used 25 for tops.
45. Jeff Uruguay, 20. Game shot on the fourth flag,
square.
Jeff Smith.
Yeah, I see the Noppert comparison in terms of sort of
Fifth
the
flag,
way he
it's
gets
Andy
wins
to
and
throw
stuff.
first. Game on.
A lot more fierce than Danny Noppert, isn't he, in his demeanour? Andy Hamilton.
Maybe a Joe Cullen. He's got a bit of a roar about him, hasn't he?
I quite like this because last night we did the past Andy
96.
Hamilton and tonight we're doing the future Andy Hamilton. If you weren't watching, there was talk of darting lookalikes last night, and Andy Hamilton was once
95.
described as a doppelganger for Henry VIII.
'83. $140. $134. $134.
Smith has got himself a chance here, but Andy Hamilton, you would say, still has control of the leg. 1-3-2 is not a finish that is easily done, but it is one that does look magical when it is done.
140. Jeff Uruguay, 132.
Oh, look at the guide. He will be so disappointed not to have had a go at that bolt. He was begging to be hit.
64. Andy Uruguay, 48.
Double 16 then for Andy Hamilton to keep hold of his throw once again.
Game shot on the fifth flag, Andy Hamilton.
And to move within one leg of qualifying for finals night.
Sixth flag, it's Jeff to throw first. Game on.
Got a couple of answers coming in for the question we posed to the chat box regarding who would they class as the
134.
modern day Andy Hamilton. I'm going to give you a couple here. Paul, nice to see you. He's gone with Stephen Bunting. Oliver Inns has gone for Ryan Searle or Ryan Joyce.
125.
Yeah, we've had Jock on X. He says Dimitri Van den Berg he would compare to Andy Hamilton.
you'll like this one, though, Murph.
180.
Liam Bishop has said, there is no comparison. There is only one Andy Hamilton.
I bet there's quite a few, to be honest. Quite a common name.
140.
Probably more than one Jeff Smith as well.
135.
And there might be one more leg in this match because Smith has made great progress in this one.
$96. Jeff, you require 52.
Double 16 for parity for a decider.
20.
Well, Hamilton might be able
Andy,
to win
you
it
require
here.
140.
To guarantee his passage through to Saturday night. In style. Felt like that guy was on
100.
Britain's Got Talent, actually, then.
Jeff, you require 32.
Is it Axel Blake?
I don't know if you meant Ant or Deck.
Game shot on the sixth leg. Jeff
All
Smith.
square. Jeff Smith won't let Hamilton win it easily. It comes down to this. So Andy Hamilton remains a leg
Seventh
away
and
from
final
qualification.
leg. It's Andy to throw first.
Jeff Smith is still in
Game
a
on.
perilous position. He will really want to win this leg for some breathing space himself in Group B.
That's where Jeff Smith needs one of those sort of big
41.
power scoring legs like he's just had here against the darts, and he's got a bit of an invite there. A bit of a slip from the hammer, and that's a great start from Jeff Smith. It looks inviting.
180.
And that is the 500th 180 of this series. Probably would have been better if I'd have said the 501st, wouldn't it?
100.
Well, you might get the 500 and the 501st in a 9-dart leg.
Come on, Jeff, make it so. Oh, Jeff.
140.
But it's a great leg of darts, isn't it? In a last leg decider against the throat.
I don't think Jeff Smith realises how close he could have come there to the greatest 9-darter here at the Super
94.
Series. He won't care, though, if this is a 99-darter. He needs the points.
$100.
Hamilton has to be wise with his move here to ensure he leaves a finish.
$137. Jeff, you require 81.
He was wise, but now he has to hope. Oh, well, that's a slight slip. It puts Jeff Smith on double 17 for the match. The least aimed at target
47.
on the dartboard.
Andy,
Andy
you require
Hamilton just-
129.
A little look at him on the back of the head there, just sort of piercing through.
Treble 20 would give Hamilton a go at the bullseye. I wonder what Jeff Smith will do now when he comes
64.
back. Straight for the
Jeff, you
least
require
used
34.
double. Or will we see Smith split? Well, he misses.
Game shot and the match. Jeff Smith.
And he does hit in the end. And Jeff Smith beats Andy Hamilton and just delays his progress through to finals night. And maybe bolsters his own chances as well. In fact, it feels like it will be Smith, Hamilton and Cameron going through. Now, they all have 8 points. That means John Michael is out. Tommy Morris is the last man who can crash the party. But all will be sorted if he loses the next game against John Michael.
Welcome back. I'm sure you're enjoying the action this evening, but don't worry, we're only halfway through the night. Here is what's happened in the first 5 fixtures. David Cameron got off to a flying start, beating Tommy Morris 4-0. Then John Michael got his first win of the group, a 4-1 win over Jeff Smith. Morris's defeat to Andy Hamilton put Morris in peril. David Cameron beating Michael, and that last result, Jeff Smith beating Andy Hamilton, has eliminated John Michael from proceedings. Matthew Edgar has been watching all the action. It seemed like inevitable that Michael wouldn't make it through, but the way he started tonight, we started to dream that maybe that would change.
He put a fight up, didn't he? Which is really good to see. He didn't just turn up today, go through the motions and sort of accept his fate. He came here, he tried, he needed to win all 4 games. It was probably an ask too big, but he gave it a very good go. He's probably going to go on and win his next 2 now and probably end up being really disappointed. He probably should have took it out in Group A. Probably disappointed to even be in this Group B campaign, and it sort of lagged.
Blistering start from a couple of players. First of all, David Cameron, that 4-0 win he had against Tommy Morris in the first match. Cameron really avenged that defeat at the end of last night. He's looking good, isn't he? He
did yesterday at the start as well. He sort of came out the traps flying and then sort of tailed off a little bit in the next game, then came back up again. I think he's someone that will probably really benefit from the format of a Saturday night. I think he struggles with this group format style where you've got so many games to get through and you've sort of got to be switched on for such a long period of time. Tomorrow he can dip in and out of concentration. I think that's really going to suit his game.
And then Andy Hamilton similarly repeated a feat from last night, 4 out of 4 in his doubles in his opening match, and this time with a 3-figure average to boot.
Spectacular performance. Our first ton plus average of the week as well goes to Andy Hamilton, and he just looked really sort of that old Andy Hamilton. It weren't a grinding result, it was a blistering performance, and it was one of those real sort of statement pieces as well, because I think our eyes have sort of diverted other ways at times and we maybe overlook Andy Hamilton a little bit because he's not the Andy Hamilton that was reaching the World Championship final, but he still brings it out. And he still shows those glimpses. And this really should be perfect preparation for what he's about to go and do in Blackpool, where if he plays like he is doing here, he's going to be a real contender for this and that title next week.
Yeah, could have been through already, but just losing that match before the break there. Look, Jeff Smith, by winning, it looks like it's going to be those 3, doesn't it?
I can't see anything but. It'd be a very, very big surprise to me if any of those top 3 don't make it. And then it'd be an even bigger surprise if one of those top 3 didn't go on then to win the week. I think we're watching the group winner out of those 3 tonight.
Yeah, well, let's just have a look at the table then. Tommy Morris is still in contention, but he's about to play John Michael. Now, we're going to have the bizarre situation here where if Michael wins this match, then 3 players will go through in one fell swoop, and none of them are actually involved in the match that's going to cause that.
I'm not surprised no more. I've seen everything this week in Group A and Group C, where we've seen it go right down to the wire. There's nothing more that could surprise me this week with the players we've got here. Bring on a 9-dart shootout tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe even a 9-dart finish tomorrow. What about that? The first one we would have seen at a finals night. Speaking of finals night, next week we've got a fantastic lineup and players that have been to Saturday nights before. The double start champion Neil Duff. We've got a few debutants in there as well. Devon Peterson, a really exciting name. But one name that we really should give the full sort of fanfare to is our current reigning and defending champion, Scott Taylor, making his return.
And the way he did it. He did it so well. He won his week with incredible performances and he looked like the favourite. He played like the favourite. He was the man to beat and no one could. It'll be really exciting to see him back next week.
Yeah, he really did do well. He's not the kind of player that really wanted to lap up that moment for too long, but that might really suit him. We've seen Jim McEwen this week maybe struggle with the weight of being a champion here. Scott Taylor, not the type of player you'd expect to feel that.
No, not at all. Not at all. He'll probably come and want to play better than he did before. And when he was here qualifying, he was regularly around that 100 average mark. I know there's been a lot of people, when you look at our social medias or the chat room on YouTube, they want to see Scott Taylor back here. They enjoyed watching Scott Taylor. They're going to be tuning in next week and really enjoying our champion again.
Right, that's next week. It's time to get this week's action back underway. Just a reminder that this match between John Michael and Tommy Morris could be crucial. Everything could be solved here. If Michael wins it, then the top 3 go through. If Tommy Morris can win, he keeps his slim hopes alive of getting through to a Saturday night here at the MODUS Super Series.
Every Saturday, we open our doors for our weekly finals night.
For a unique and intimate darts experience.
Meet the Dart Stars and even the team off the telly.
Here at our purpose-built venue in Portsmouth.
Every single Saturday evening.
Tickets can be booked via this QR code.
Or at www.dartshop.tv for a very small booking fee.
Follow us at MSS Darts on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram and TikTok.
For all the latest ticketing news.
All you need to do, log on, book, turn up, and the action gets underway from 7:30 p.m.
So what are you waiting for?
Get your tickets to the darts.
We look forward to welcoming you to the MODUS Super Series very soon.
So ticketing news update complete here at the MODUS Super Series, and everything could be complete. The finals night field could be complete after this match. It's a meeting between Tommy Morris and John Michael, but if Michael wins it, then it will be Jeff Smith, Andy Hamilton and David Cameron who go through to finals night. As Matthew Egger said, you've seen everything at the Super Series now, and this is a bizarre one. Well, Michael's at it again. He doesn't want to practice again.
First leg,
He's doing
it's
it
Tommy
again.
to throw first.
Has he done Tommy Morris out of some extra practice darts there as well, or is it just Michael that's given up his?
100. $95. $140.
One of the great things about tonight, that even though John Michael's
60.
now out, he will still continue to entertain for the rest of the evening. No doubt about that.
100. $60. Tommy, you require 161. $95.
You can imagine that back room right now is all
100.
John
Tommy, you
Michael
require
fans.
66. Game shot on the first leg, Tommy Morris.
Oh, Tommy Morris keeping his hopes alive.
Second leg, it's John to throw first. Game on. $60.
If Morris wins here, he still needs somebody else above him to lose
95.
both of their games. But he does take on Jeff Smith. That's going to be his big hope.
140.
Hamilton and Cameron play each other. In fact, I don't know, is Jeff Smith his big hope? Of course he's going to need to beat him. But David Cameron's arguably got the
118.
hardest run-in. It's not only
140.
the points, though. Tommy Morris is going to need to win big and opponents to lose big, because he's
140.
got a far inferior leg
John,
difference
you
as
require
well.
161.
There's a possible 16 leg swing, but the closest player to him is 11 legs ahead.
45. Tommy, you require 148.
He'd rather have some hope than no hope. The only way he's going to get that, like you say, is a big win here against John
60.
Michael.
John, you require 116.
But with that in mind, every single leg that John Michael's take would hurt. And is that a bull 16 bull attempt?
84. Tommy, you require 88.
Well, we have learnt to expect the unexpected. This will be a bull attempt.
63. John,
Can't
you
quite
require
locate. And every
32.
leg Tommy Morris loses is going to be a huge dent in his chances.
16.
He hasn't lost a leg.
Tommy, you require 25. Game shot on a second leg, Tommy Morris.
Well, he's won those 2 legs at a flash. He's one of those sort of whirlwind players
Third
that
leg, it's Tommy
when
to
you're
throw
playing them, they're
first.
so quick, you're straight
Game
to the
on.
hockey, and a game can run away from you so quickly before you even feel like you're
46.
settled in.
Just to settle down, Tommy Morris's fans, friends, family, there is no
95.
margin of victory in this match that can actually eliminate him at this point. So if he wins, he is still in, whatever the scoreline is.
60.
Just the bigger the victory, the much better his chances become of closing that seemingly unassailable gap.
133.
Well, it looks like he's planning on using the entire board in this game.
108.
Tommy Morris showing that little touch of class that made him an England international. This is a international sort of platform.
79.
It's the sort of level we compare it to here at the Super Series.
What we do know is if
45.
Tommy Morris gets to 8 points, then somebody will go out on 8 points in this group, and 8 is usually enough to qualify.
140. Tommy, you require 170.
Had a 180 in the leg, won't win the leg with a 170,
45.
and may not win the leg
John,
at
you
all.
require 54. Game shot on a third
Michael.
leg, John Michael.
Does some damage to the Morris bid.
Fourth
He
leg,
knows the
it's John
score.
to
He's
throw
been
first.
watching, hasn't he?
Game on.
Tommy Morris this week.
$58. $100.
So enjoyable to watch quick dart players, isn't it? Especially when they're finding those trebles.
57.
Tommy Morris has got better as the night has gone on. Did start it slow, but seems to be getting into his stride now.
120.
Brutal bounce that. Would have done some damage at it. Bounced straight back at him, that.
$140. $140.
Averaging in the mid-90s here, Tommy Morris. He needs a big performance, he's finding.
59. Tommy, you require 141.
He's going to get 6 darts here to get that breaker throw straight back.
85.
This is where also it becomes frustrating because he'll just think, why can't this have come one game sooner?
57.
Well, for
Tommy, you
3-1,
require 56.
double top.
Game shot on the fourth flag,
Very
Tommy
good
Morris.
stuff from Tommy Morris. Look, he didn't play well in his first game against David Cameron, but you have
Fifth
to
leg,
consider
it's
that
Tommy
both
to throw
Cameron and
first.
Hamilton put in fantastic
on.
performances against him. He was much improved against Hamilton, but just nothing he could do to get near the hammer, who was averaging
11.
over 100.
$85. $40. $100.
It's always interesting when you're sort of speculating what the players are aware of, and you wonder if Tommy Morris knows his fate.
30.
He's really lost the line here, hasn't he? Really struggling just to keep them straight.
Yeah, every single visit here, it's been all over the place in this leg so far.
45.
Only managed 81 points in 9 darts.
Well, out of that, only 3 of them finding
60.
the actual line, the corridor that he was actually throwing on.
$60.
Suddenly finds himself searching.
85. 30.
Well, never give up a leg. Never, ever give up a leg. Because in this one, Tommy
105.
Morris, who only scored 81 points in his first 9 darts, is first to a finish.
Wow.
Tommy, you require 170.
He may get 6 darts out of here because John Michael has left himself on a bit of a tricky finish.
Well, that would have been madness, wouldn't it? To win it with a 170 after the scruffy stuff at the start of the leg.
132. John, you require 141.
Cover 19 would have left double 12. Instead, Tommy
109.
Morris may get a win
Tommy, you
that
require
he so
38.
desperately needs.
He may make the
Game
top
shot
3
and the
wait.
match.
That's what he does.
Tommy
Morris stays in the fight, stays in the night. John Michael can't get the win that would have put the other players through. Yeah, thumbs up from Tommy Morris. A decent performance. Finally a victory on the board for him tonight. A 4-1 success against John Michael that keeps his hopes alive. Andy Hamilton and David Cameron go head-to-head next. Whoever wins that match will be confirmed through to the finals. Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series for a match which will see the winner qualify for finals night. David Cameron taking on Andy Hamilton to be the first through from Group B. It seemed like it's a case of when rather than if for this pair of players, but who knows? Tommy Morris has kept himself in contention. He takes on Jeff Smith in the next match. That'll be the real target for Tommy, the one that he can affect. But the winner of this one will go through.
Kept his hopes alive there. Tommy Morris with his performance of the day. Picking up a 4-1 victory over the already eliminated John Michael. And Andy Hamilton has been sort of up towards the top end of his powers today. That first game, the
First leg, it's
100
Andy to
average,
throw first. Game on.
the first 100 average of the week, a 4-1 victory to kickstart his campaign. They're making a real statement here to make himself a favourite to win the week.
177.
Perfect start for Andy Hamilton.
140.
Do you see a lot of people switch now on that one, don't they, to try and get the 177 on the opening visit? Because if the 9 data is in mind,
80.
it's easier to stay in the same area for the 144 rather than going up, down and back up again for the 141.
140.
Just to put some more meat on the bones, by the way, by my maths, if either player wins this match 4-3, then they are both through.
96.
So the winner definitely goes through, but if it's a 4-3 win, then both players go through because of a leg difference situation. And it'll only be Jeff Smith that Tommy Morris can catch then.
121. Andy, you require 148.
Would be one of the greatest turnarounds we've ever seen at the Super Series if Tommy Morris was to get through to a qualification place.
$94. David, you require 100. $60. Andy, you require 54.
Double top. Double 10.
34. David, you require 40.
Andy Hamilton opened this leg with the big maximum visit.
Game shot on the
He ends
first
up losing
leg,
it.
David Cameron.
Anytime you open up on the throw with a 3 treble combo, you expect that you're going to close
Second
out the
leg,
leg.
it's David to throw first. Game on. $57. $64.
It's actually even better for David Cameron. He's got the healthiest leg difference in this group.
41. $60. $100. $140. $60. $93. 60. Andy, you require 144. $128.
Andy Hamilton looking to level on double eight.
96. Andy, you require 16. Game shot on the second leg, Andy Hamilton.
And he does do just that.
Third leg, it's Andy to throw first. Game on.
We've just been crunching some numbers. David Cameron with a slightly better leg difference than Andy Hamilton. So, as I said, if it's a 4-3 defeat for Andy Hamilton, he goes through. But just confirmation, David Cameron, having
96.
won one leg in this match, is actually through. So Cameron is through to finals night. The Canadian will be there.
So we now know
140.
4 of the 6 players, 2 positions still outstanding. It's likely to be going the way of Andy Hamilton and Jeff Smith, but Tommy Morris will not go down without a fight.
58.
He's got one more game to go. That will be his next game. He takes on Jeff Smith. A game that could seal the deal.
100.
Seal the fate of tomorrow night.
Yeah, it's Morris's realistic hope, isn't it, that he can somehow get a massive
60.
win against Jeff Smith. But then he'd still need Smith to lose to David Cameron in the final match of the evening.
100.
Well, he has just had a
37.
sizable win.
David, you require 161.
Tommy Morris, a 4-1 victory over John Michael. So we know he's got that in his arsenal.
130. $86. David, you require 31.
Oh, he's missed a big number. We've said that a few times this week.
Game shot on the third leg, David Cameron.
But he does get there in the end, breaks the throw of the hammer.
Fourth leg, it's David to throw first. Game on.
All good news for supporters and friends of Tommy Morris.
100. $99. $140. $135. $60.
It would have been sort of too much to ask for this group to go right down to the death. I mean, it still could, but we have been really treated to some grandstand finishes in groups so far this week. Group A went right down to the last set of fixtures. Group C went down to the very last fixture. A reminder for those who I haven't been watching every dart this week. I know a few of you may just choose to tune in on a Friday night and catch up with what's been happening. Bradley Roos won Group A, the 19-year-old
Andy, you require 167.
Dutchman. In Group C, Ivo Lexma joined him, another Netherlands player, on his Super Series debut, and another debutant made it through
97.
From Group C.
David, you
Jensen
require
Walker,
24.
17 years of age. But the experience is coming from this group. It's coming in the form of David Cameron, who is the 4th name on that list.
12.
And he may well be joined
Andy requires
by Andy
70.
Hamilton, who, if he gets a couple more legs, will be the 5th. Here comes one of them. Or does it? Or does it?
Quite a fortunate miss there for Andy Hamilton. He pulled it low. Stayed outside of the double 16.
No score.
Oh, this time he finds it.
David, you require 12.
David Cameron looking east to double 6. And south for double 3.
9.
Well, Andy Hamilton will be ruining that bust
70.
even more now, because he's got to do all the hard work again.
So back to the 18s. Back in the 18s.
It's a similar dart, you know.
Well, last time it went in when it was a similar dart and he had to move right to the right-hand side.
Game shot on the 4th leg.
It goes in the right
Andy
target
Hamilton.
this time. And Andy Hamilton is now 1 leg away from qualification.
5th leg, it's Andy to throw first.
So David Cameron is
Game
through.
on.
Andy Hamilton will join him if he wins this leg. And then Jeff Smith will look to do the same by beating Tommy Morris in the next match.
$101. $100.
And by the way, Jeff Smith is not even going to need to win that match. He's only going to
60.
need to win a couple of legs in it to qualify.
$140. $121. $100.
First to a finish again. David Cameron.
$96. David, you require 161.
So this is it for Andy Hamilton.
105.
Chance to
Andy,
put
you require
himself in a
123.
guaranteed position for finals night tomorrow night. 123 points away. Just needed the one treble he's found. 66 remaining for the bull.
98.
Almost.
David, you require 56.
So David Cameron already through. Andy Hamilton needs 1 leg. Jeff Smith needs 2 legs in the next
Game
match.
shot on the 5th leg. David Cameron.
But Hamilton might be made to wait yet.
6th leg. It's David to throw first.
Then I'll have to get the calculator out again and tell you exactly what needs to happen for him to be in peril after Smith versus Morris.
140.
told you darts was all about maths.
121.
Permutations are becoming quite complicated. However, the probability is that it's Cameron, Hamilton and Smith.
60.
Very, very short odds. Very long odds on Tommy Morris making it. And for John Michael, well, no chance. He's out.
$123. 140.
He's refound the groove, hasn't he, David Cameron? Looking to make Andy Hamilton wait for confirmation of his place. You might not have to wait too long. Tommy Morris up next against Jeff Smith.
50. David, you require 161.
Could seal the deal for the hammer.
$65.
May yet seal it himself. But we'll have to rely on Cameron not cleaning up 96 to win this match. Excalibur putting Hamilton to the sword.
$79. David, you require 96.
For the win.
88. Andy, you require 128.
So Andy Hamilton's had a dart at the bull already to book his place into Saturday night. It'll be a dart at the bull again if he can find the treble 20. Which he can't, and that could be
63.
the last dart that he gets
David,
to throw in this game.
8. Game shot and the match.
And Cameron
David Cameron
defeats Andy Hamilton, and in doing so books his place at finals night on Saturday. He gets to the tally of 10 points and is in a strong position to win this group, but all he'll care about is that win and the fact that he has sealed qualification. Andy Hamilton will have to wait a little longer, but all could be signed, sealed and delivered in the match next between Jeff Smith and Tommy Morris. Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where David Cameron has just booked his place at finals night, and well, players could book their place at finals night with every leg that goes by in this next game. Every leg is going to matter. Certainly for Tommy Morris, he needs to beat Jeff Smith 4-1 or better to keep his faint chances alive. If Jeff Smith gets to 2 legs, that is him through to finals night. And just as a little side note, if Jeff Smith gets to 1 leg, that's actually Andy Hamilton's place confirmed.
First leg, it's Jeff to throw first. Game on.
I think that should have come with a disclaimer for the viewers to go get a pen first, because there's a lot of different possibilities.
45.
Yeah, it'll be easy if Jeff Smith wins the first 2 legs. We'll know after leg 1, Hamilton's through. After leg 2, Smith is through. But it
60.
is vitally important for Tommy Morris to win as big as he possibly can.
$100. $100. $100.
These are the sort of games, though, if you're Tommy Morris, you absolutely live for. Drives from his home in Dorset to come to Southampton, about a 50-minute drive just to get good competitive play. So we can play moments like this, so we can enjoy moments
85.
and battles like this one.
Jeff, you require 116. $56. Tommy, you require 156.
So 60 for
42.
Jeff Smith to tick off
Jeff,
the
you
first
require
possibility.
60.
Yeah, so this one is for Hamilton.
Game shot on the
And there we
first
go.
leg, Jeff Smith.
Andy Hamilton, by virtue of that leg 1 for Jeff Smith
Second leg,
against
it's
Tommy
to throw
Morris,
first.
is through
Game
to
on.
finals night.
Do you think before they went out, Andy Hamilton shook Jeff Smith's hand and said, "Give him one for me"?
140.
I don't think they could have been astutely aware of the exact
100.
scenario. It took me precisely 2 minutes and 39 seconds to work it out.
60.
But the next one's for Jeff himself. If he wins this leg, he will be through. Tommy Morris will be out. And the final 6
60.
for week 3 of Series 7 will be confirmed.
$171.
Sharp shooting by Tommy Morris, who may delay the progress of Smith.
137. Tommy, you require 130.
Well, this is interesting. Jeff Smith not on a finish. Tommy Morris
82.
wants to go for the bull in a match where he needs to win every remaining leg.
$100. Tommy, you require 48. $32. Jeff, you require
Jeff Smith with a
104.
chance to inflict some pain on Tommy Morris.
Yeah, he'll do whatever he can to leave that target.
86. Tommy, you require
He
16.
can't hit it on this occasion, so Morris returns. His flame has been flickering all evening,
8.
and now
Jeff, you
it
require
might be about
18.
to go out.
Game
Jeff
shot on the
Smith,
second leg.
he's
Jeff
through
Smith.
to finals night, and the Saturday showpiece 6 are confirmed. It will
Third
be
leg, it's Jeff to throw first.
Jeff Smith
Game
himself,
on.
Andy Hamilton, David Cameron joining Bradley Roos, Ivo Lexmat, and Jensen Walker. That is your finals night field for tomorrow. Tommy Morris now can't get through, even if he does overturn the deficit and win this match.
140.
So we now move our attention to who can actually win this group, because that's going to be a tight battle and race in the final latter fixtures as well.
Yeah, Smith wins this one. He will
139.
join David Cameron on 10 points. So basically it'll be a straight shootout between the pair of them, won't it? Because Andy Hamilton can only get to 10. One of those would get to 12. But if Morris wins this, then
57.
Cameron stays on 10. He could end up with a three-way tie at the top.
This is some leg for Tommy Morris.
108.
Well, it's taken a while to get the gun going.
Jeffrey require 164.
Brought a smile to the face of Jeff Smith as well. 140, 139, 180.
84. Tommy, you require 42.
Super stuff. But all when he's already out.
Game shot on the third leg.
And
Tommy Morris.
that just sums it up, doesn't it? As soon as that pressure valve has been
Fourth leg,
released,
it's Tommy to throw
Morris
first.
produces his
Game
best
on.
stuff.
60. $131. 125.
Still just really enjoying himself, isn't he, Tommy Morrison? Embracing the opportunity here at the Super Series.
100.
Someone who wants to be taking on the best, challenging himself at all costs.
60.
So he'd have really enjoyed this group with some big hitters, and well, not just the three that's gone through. John Michael in there as well, the 16-time Greek champion and former tour card holder himself.
100. 120. Jeff, you require 170. 93. Tommy, you require 136.
136, not going to happen for Morris.
42. Jeff, you require 77. 41. Tommy, you require 94. 79. Jeff, you require 36.
Smith for his favourite. Hasn't had so much success with that target here at the Super Series so far.
27.
That will be just a little seed
Tommy,
of
you
doubt
require
in his
15.
mind ahead of tomorrow.
No score.
Well, that maybe sums up things for Tommy Morris.
Jeff, you require 9.
Last couple of darts, one in the bullseye when he wanted a 25, and then one in the double seven when he wanted the single.
7. Tommy, you require 15. 13. Jeff, you require 2.
That is an enormous miss. He's missed by that much. He hasn't even ended up busting it. Jeff Smith just waiting for a unidentified flying object to get out of the way.
No score. Tommy, you require 2.
Tommy Morris trying to usher the pest away.
Not surprised to see him throw one high here after pulling that last dart so low.
No score.
He's thrown one higher though, that's
Jeff,
the problem.
you require 2.
Well, we've all been here.
Game shot on the fourth
Jeff
leg.
Smith
Jeff Smith.
lands the double in the end. Oh, That's so unlike Jeff Smith.
Fifth leg, it's Jeff to throw first.
More like John Michael.
Game on.
I think what we saw was Tommy Morris gave it the gun, didn't he, a bit earlier, play on his nickname. Jeff Smith giving it the silencer.
41.
All in good spirit. And did he just give it the gun after bad darts there, Jeff Smith? What's
59.
happening in this group?
I've got a feeling this is a practice room you really want to be involved
60.
in, because it seems like there's going to be a lot of fun going on down there.
83. 140. 85.
Not a lot of fun on the stage for Tommy Morris tonight. Maybe even the last couple of nights. It just hasn't been his week.
180. 134. Jeff, you require 80.
To get the job done.
40. Tommy, you require 140.
So he will come back. Opportunity for Jeff Smith
27.
to
Jeff,
send
you
Tommy
require
Morris home with
40.
defeat.
Game shot and the match.
A defeat
Jeff
it is
Smith.
for Tommy Morris. He has acquitted himself well once again here at the Super Series, but he will not be continuing his journey into Saturday. That is the last time that we will be seeing Tommy Morris in action, but we will be seeing Jeff Smith again a little bit later on. His place now confirmed alongside Andy Hamilton, who is coming up next against John Michael.
Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series, where the finals night field is filled. And it will feature Andy Hamilton, the former World Championship finalist, who's going to complete his campaign in Group B here against John Michael, who, well, early tonight when he won his opening and only victory, thought he might put himself in the picture, but it has petered out for him, as it now has for Tommy Morris. And it's Hamilton, Smith and Cameron going through from Group B. Can the Hammer sign off with a victory that would see him take his tally to 10 points in a very impressive campaign? And then after that, we will find out who goes on to win the group when the two Canadians go head-to-head, David Cameron and Jeff Smith. The winner of that will top the table.
First leg, it's John to throw first. Game on.
We've seen a few shenanigans, shall we say, from John Michael. And in a situation where he knows he's out, he knows the Hammer's through, we may see something a little bit strange in this game.
140.
He did attempt a bull 18 bull shot earlier on.
$96.
Or will the fact that he's up against the legend of the sport in Andy
41.
Hamilton just getting back on the straight and narrow? Either way, it's going to be an entertaining watch for sure.
$99. $96. $58. $100. $26. John, you require 124.
Didn't need to go for the ball in that situation, but I do feel like John Michael's going to try and pick those out every single opportunity he gets. I do play a lot over in Europe on
58.
bullseye-based games.
Johnny required 25.
Soft tips where the bullseye is predominantly the target, because the 25 section counts the same as the 50.
Game shot on the first leg, John Michael.
Well, Michael does take the opening leg.
Second leg, it's Andy to throw first. Game on.
I'm worried about the answer to the question I'm about to ask. But how would you sum up John Michael's week?
81.
It may take a while.
Go on, let's do the sum it up in 3 words. Just 3
60.
words that describe John Michael's stay at the Super Series.
Erratic. Funny.
28.
Intriguing. Have you got 3 yourself?
140.
I'd go further than funny. Hilarious. Enigmatic.
$140.
And heartbreaking. And the reason for that is I'm not going to see him
100.
tomorrow. But also, let's not forget the situation on Wednesday. John Michael had it in his hands in Group 8. And he won his penultimate match against, interestingly,
41.
David Cameron, he would have actually been through. He wouldn't have even been playing the last couple of days. He'd have been fist-bumping people in his hotel. He wouldn't have been here.
100.
And the Super Series, he'd have been back Saturday night. But he lost that match, and then Bradley Roos managed to beat both Jim McEwen and Mike Huntley. And the Dutchman went through instead.
42. John, you require 101.
New finish for the hammer. Offers time on the side of the
82.
Deadly Rosie leaves 19, a treble 20 to leave 19. So I'll go back to my 3 words.
Yeah.
Erratic. Funny.
Bonkers.
137. John, you require 19.
Double 4.
Game shot on a second leg.
Could end
John
on a high
Michael.
for John Michael.
Third leg, it's John to throw first. Game on. $100. 135. 45.
Well, let's do it with Andy Hamilton as well then. I mean, his week isn't over yet, but how would you describe his last couple of nights?
In 3 words.
Yeah, why not?
Encouraging.
180.
Clinical.
41. 140.
Okay, can I just do 2?
Well, so far successful. We'll add that one in because he has succeeded in reaching finals night. But would he succeed in winning it?
81.
This is a great leg of darts.
Andy, you require 46.
Never mind the 3 words. It's only taken 3 visits for Andy Hamilton to get down to 46. Double 16 for an 11 darter.
Game shot on a third leg. Andy Hamilton.
And this is the encouraging sign for Andy Hamilton. It's not often that he's been doing this over the last,
Fourth leg.
well, do
It's
you know
Andy
what,
to throw
half
first.
a decade or so.
Game on.
But he seems to be finding something. The success at the Seniors World Championship against Robert Thornton, the success in qualifying for the Champion of Champion event next weekend, and now making it through to
100.
finals night of the Super Series. Andy Hamilton's having a little bit of a purple patch at the start of 2024.
100.
Well, Digger's decided to join in on our online chat. Please do join in, guys. Send us your 1 words and why in regards to how you describe the weeks. He's gone for disobedient for John Michael because he's decided just to
135.
wander in the exclusion zone whenever he feels like it.
Yeah, but who's told him not to? To disobey, you have to be
81.
defying some instructions, don't you? We actually had this the chat yesterday, didn't we? It's a type of thing that you wouldn't expect an official to pull you up on unless the opponent was
58.
visibly bothered by it. Because then you're just bringing something to their attention.
Yeah, absolutely. It is one of those rules
58.
that are sort of there, but sort of there to enforce if required. Because you see a lot of people talk about, oh, Van Gerwen stands with his toes in the thing, but the player can't see it. He's got his back to him. He's not bothered.
90. 100. Andy, you require 118.
118 for Andy Hamilton, with John Michael not on a finish after 100 left, 162. 18 will leave tops for the hammer.
98.
Can't quite make it, but John Michael's definitely not going to make this.
$100. Andy, you require 20.
Right, well, where's he going to throw this from? He's on the ferry to the Isle of Wight, apparently.
No score. John, you require 62.
John Michael
46.
cannot snaffle the leg.
Andy, you require 20. $10.
I think
John,
it's
you
safe to
require
say a bit of
16.
intensity has been lost since everything was signed and sealed in this group. Hamilton
Game shot on the fourth
may
flag.
lose
John
his last
Michael.
match. Wait, does he think it's over? He's taking his darts cake. Look at him, he's styling it
Fifth
out.
flag, it's John
He's
to
styling
throw
it out.
first.
That's Andy
on.
Hamilton running for a bus. The bus pulls away and he pretends he was just jogging.
57.
That's not the first time that Andy Hamilton's been involved in a situation like this. Remember the World Championship when Joe Mernon thought he beat him and turned around to shake his hand, and Andy Hamilton wanted none of it.
60.
Yeah, I do remember that, yeah. Mernon got it wrong on that occasion.
100. $81.
Former Premier League player, of course, Andy Hamilton.
$97.
Him and Kevin Painter actually got put in the same season, following Hamilton's World Championship final run and Kevin Painter winning the Players' Championship finals the month before.
78.
There's a bit of a conversation breaking out as well in the chat, I can just see, regarding the exclusion zone. It was nothing to do with social distancing as such. It was
83.
nothing to do with Richie Burnett. It was actually a rule that was brought in. I believe the game was between Keith Deller and Rod Harrington, where Keith Deller was complaining because Rod Harrington kept kicking him in the heels while he was throwing his darts. So the exclusion zone was introduced, and it's been there ever
100.
since.
John, you require 164.
Well, now we're going to see a sensational end for John Michael.
65.
Threatened it for a moment, but leaves himself on 99.
$77. John, you require 99.
May go tops.
59.
I guess one of them.
Andy, you require 105.
Double 16 then.
Game shot on a
Andy
fifth
Hamilton.
flag. Andy Hamilton.
Fierce competitor that he is, even though he's already through, keeps fighting. Still wants to win this
Sixth
last
flag.
match.
It's Andy to throw first. Game on.
Time for another fist bump for John Michael.
$46. 100. $177. $59.
Well, all of a sudden it's got the feeling, a vibe of a game that's going to go the distance.
$66. $60.
Still one more game to go. Remember, it will be a match that will determine who wins this group.
90.
David Cameron or Jeff Smith. One of the two Canadians will be winning Group B.
100. Andy, you require 122. $54.
Yeah, deciding to go for a clear target there, Andy Hamilton, having blocked the original bed he may have aimed at.
$80. Andy, you require 68. Game shot on the sixth leg, Andy Hamilton.
So we do go the distance. Time for one more fist bump for John Michael.
Final leg. It's John to throw first. Game on.
But this will be the final fling for the Greek great this week.
85. $137.
I suppose for Andy Hamilton, the revised system here at the Super Series is what's really keeping him up
60.
and fighting for this, because every position means bigger prize.
Yeah, there is still a chance of a second place finish for Andy Hamilton. If he wins this one, he'll go 10 points plus 4 leg difference. That'll be 3 behind
140.
Jeff Smith, 5 behind David Cameron, so he'd need Cameron to do a job on Smith if he was to take second place.
108.
John Michael's got just the job here. I wish I could hit a 180 and react like that. So casual, John Michael.
95.
So nonchalant.
$80. Andy, you require 129.
$72 left to send John Michael back to Greece with defeat. It's not going to go.
81.
But this might
John,
be
you require
John
96.
Michael's only opportunity to end his week with a win here at the Super Series.
I'm not really sure what John Michael was thinking there.
44. Andy, you require 48.
He declined the 2 data, went for the 3 data instead. Well, there's always going to be some bamboozling end to his stay at the Super Series. That was it. And surely this will be the end. Andy Hamilton wins 4-3.
Andy Hamilton
takes his tally to 10 points. Says good night to John Michael, who will depart after what started like a promising week. Had the chance to win Group A, but it all fell apart in Group B. And Andy Hamilton hammers in the final nail in the coffin, and he goes through to finals night himself with Jeff Smith and David Cameron, who will duke it out after the break to see who tops the group. Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series, where Andy Hamilton has made it through to finals night. And it's double congratulations, isn't it, Andy? Because not only are you through, but you're just celebrating your birthday.
Yeah, thanks me. I think tonight I was probably more concerned about my daughters, but also another year older, which I don't want to mention, which is always good. But also, I've earned a spot for tomorrow night, which is a good birthday celebration for me tonight.
Yeah, perfect timing, really, to be here on Saturday. Will you have a few people here supporting you?
Yeah, I think there's a few there tomorrow night. Obviously, I live down this way. Well, the family live down this way, so I think there'll be a few there tomorrow night. But it's just about the people who are playing darts. I think people who turn up, I think it's just about all the players playing there, support everybody out in that room tomorrow night, and we'll enjoy it. Yeah, absolutely. Just talk to us about this group a little bit, because on paper, really tough group to get through, but three of you seem to sort of pull away. Yeah, I think when I come into this, I was looking at the players. I always analyse what I want to do when I get here, and look at the players there. There's a lot of pedigree there. There's a lot of good players there, and there's dangerous players. Tommy Morris, John Michael, Jeff Smith, David Cameron, and myself. So I think the permutations could have gone either way. I think the damage done yesterday. We got 6 points yesterday. Today we've got 4 points. So I'm happy about. It's all about the longevity of the game, which makes a difference. Yeah, absolutely. And you're playing some decent stuff lately as well. We saw you at the World Seniors Championship, beat the reigning champion Robert Thornton, and of course qualified for the Champion of Champions in Blackpool. This has been a great start to the year for you, hasn't it? Oh yeah, most. I think it's giving me more inspiration. The World Seniors now, after I played John Anderson last week. I've got him next week in the Champion of Champions. He's going to see a different version of Andy Hamilton next week, because I'm ready. I'm hungry again. I don't know why I am, but it's nice to feel that way in life. And do you feel like you are
potentially starting to play your best darts since you were at the top of your game sort of a decade ago?
Yeah, I think yes. I think I'm enjoying the game. I've no pressures if I win or lose. I don't care, but I do care, if you know what I mean. But I always want to win. I'm passionate. I still believe, and I think them two attributes in my life still get me a long way in life.
And is that the version of Andy Hamilton we're expecting to see here in front of an audience at the Super Series tomorrow night?
You might see a few more roads tomorrow night, without a doubt.
We'll look forward to it. Well done, Andy.
Cheers,
congratulations. Happy birthday. And we will
Thank
now
you very
see
much.
who wins the group that Andy Hamilton's going through. David Cameron and Jeff Smith with him. But whoever wins this match will top the table.
Always great to hear from the Hammer, the legend of the sport, who says he's hungry once again. The seniors revitalising his interest in the sport and his desire to win. It certainly gives him that platform, and it's certainly rejuvenated careers and give people that winning vibe once again, like Robert Thornton, who picked up back-to-back Seniors World Championships, Kevin Painter, to name just a few. So we wish Andy Hamilton well in his success going up to the Champion of Champions in Blackpool next week. He'll be back here tomorrow night, as will the two Canadians on stage about to do battle in our last game.
First leg, it's David to throw first. Game on.
Here in this Group B campaign. Andy Hamilton, though, won't be topping the group. This is a battle to see who will top the group. The winner will be
60.
the Group B champion. But if Jeff Smith is able to get 2 legs here against fellow Canadian David Cameron and
100.
former Pairs teammate David Cameron, that will restrict Andy Hamilton to just a 3rd place finish.
140.
Now, the positions do make a difference in regards to the pay packets of the players. The higher up the league you finish, the more pounds you make. So Andy Hamilton will be hoping for a strong David Cameron win here.
Yeah, we did mention last night that this pair have won pairs titles together.
140.
Won the World Cup pairs in Romania a few years ago, averaged over 100 in the final against an English team.
91. David, you require 161.
Both of them on big finishes in this opening leg.
$65. Jeff, you require 170. $50. David, you require 96.
That English team they beat, by the way, featured one of our Super Series commentators, Scott Mitchell.
78.
Losing in that final to this
Jeff,
pair,
you require
Scott
120.
and Daniel Day. Conquered by Cameron and Smith. Can Smith take out tops here? Yes, he can.
First leg,
The
Jeff
Shanghai
Smith.
shot in the opening leg.
Second leg, it's Jeff to throw first. Game on.
Just down there with Andy Hamilton then, Matt. You could just sense that he really is enjoying darts and enjoying life at the moment. That passion was evident. It was real.
Absolutely. We was just talking on the way up here about how that seniors tour has really sort of rejuvenated a lot of people.
100.
It's sort of, when they thought the careers may have been over, that tour's come around at the right time just to give them a focus, give them a purpose. Maybe no longer able to climb the highest
94.
mountain and take on the professional ranks, but certainly able to battle out for some big titles, some big prize money. Just look at the
137.
careers of players like Robert Thornton, how they found success even in their later years.
94. 43.
David Cameron, of course, has won on the World Seniors stage. The Lakeside was the home of his Masters triumph in 2022.
60.
And they'll be hoping to win on the Super Series stage tomorrow night. Reminder, the action gets underway from 7:30 UK time.
Jeff, you require 170.
For another thrilling finals night, and we've had a couple of fantastic ones so far in this series. Reece Robinson and Conor Heenan so far through to Champions
60.
Week.
David, you require 161.
I'm going to ask you now, Matt, who you think will join them, because we may well have a player
65.
with us in the studio after the
Jeff, you require
the
110.
match, so I think it's safer to do it now. You sticking with Jeff Smith?
Yes. We've not seen the best of him yet, but I think the best
54.
is still yet to come.
David, you require 96.
If it is Jeff, I might ask you. But it could be David, as he's looking for double 18, and he hits it.
Second leg, David Cameron.
And it's all square in this
Third leg,
table
it's David to throw
topping
first.
tie.
Game on.
Reminder, just one more leg for Jeff Smith will mean Andy Hamilton will confirmed
100.
in third place finish.
$100. $100. $140. $100. $54. $130. $87. David, you require 71. $51.
Jeff Smith's already taken this out once in this game. It was to break the throw in the opening leg. Won't repeat the
80.
feat. Just leave
David,
it handy.
you require 20. Game shot on the third leg, David Cameron.
Don't think either of them were sure whether that one was in or not.
Fourth leg, it's Jeff to throw first. Game on. $100. $140. $100.
Reminder as well that the reigning series champion Scott Taylor will be back in action as of next week. He's in the field from Monday, looking
58.
to be the second player to defend his title. Luke Littler, of course, was the first.
$93. $129.
That just offers the advantage to Jeff Smith here.
$140. 60. Jeff, you require 68. Game shot on a 4 flag, Jeff Smith.
And he makes the most of it. The silencer keeps David Cameron honest here.
5th flag, it's David to throw first. Game on. $58.
That leg for Jeff Smith does confirm that these are now playing for first and second position. Andy Hamilton will be going through in third place.
60.
Winner of this game will finish top of the group.
$81.
Just imagine how much history is between these two players. The amount of times they would have clashed in various tournaments, not just
140.
in 01, as they would call it, but also in variations of the sport, such as cricket.
$140.
Just for the maybe uneducated viewer, gives an explanation as to what cricket is in darting terms.
Yeah, it's not a bat and ball.
140.
Completely different game, just working on all those power scoring segments, 20 through to 15, and the bullseye as well. It's a very tactical game. Very, very tactical.
92.
And Jeff Smith, actually, one of the best players in the world at that sport. Danny Baggish up there. Boris Kritschmar is another.
77.
Very good at the cricket.
David, you require 130.
Jose de Souza.
Well, David Cameron just
90.
shooting for the ball to
Jeff,
set
you
up rather than
84.
to win the leg. And Jeff Smith could break here. He'll go treble 16. Now go for the bullseye himself.
53. David, you require 40. $20. Jeff, you require 31. Game shot on a 5th leg, Jeff Smith.
And Smith does get the break. And now throwing
6th flag, it's Jeff to throw
win
first.
the group. And to be honest,
Game on.
halfway through the night, it didn't look like that would be the outcome, did it? Jeff Smith was beaten in the first match tonight, 4-1, by John
100.
Michael.
Isn't that the only win John Michael's had in this group?
It is.
137.
The man at the bottom beat the man who looks like he's about to finish top. We're talking about the value that was on offer for Hamilton and Cameron.
85.
Cameron was actually priced bigger than Tommy Morris.
83. $140.
But despite all the
93.
twists, turns, the highs and the lows, it looks like it might be the favourite Jeff Smith that's going to come out on top in the end.
$136. $81. Jeff, you
Tops
require 40.
for the group.
Game shot.
And
under
Jeff Smith seals it.
Jeff Smith.
The silencer makes the biggest noise in Group B. The Canadian conquers his countryman David Cameron, who he will go through alongside to finals night, and with the hammer Andy Hamilton. But Smith picks up the points, and he put in a very good performance to do so as well. A 4-2 win, an 80% success rate, 120 checkout, and an average of 94.89. Jeff Smith through, and we are going to be hearing from him very, very shortly as myself and Matthew Edgar reflect on all the action on the other side of this. Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series, where we have been joined by the group winner, Jeff Smith. Congratulations, Jeff. Just sum up how you think it's gone the last couple of nights.
Yeah, I'm a bit nervous because this is all new to me, but yeah, I'm happy to get the win and looking forward to playing tomorrow night.
Yeah, Matthew Edgar has been kind of backing you. I don't know how much you've heard or how much you would have seen of that, but he's really tipped you up this week. And he's kind of proved you right, hasn't he?
He has, yeah. It's interesting that it says nervous as well, because when you think about the experience and everything that Jeff has in other spheres, it just goes to show that this stage is so different to anything like what we're used to when we play out in knockout darts, because that sort of group format and sort of looking over your shoulder, looking around the room, it's a completely different environment, and we see how it takes people to settle a little bit. But Jeff Smith coming out on top, he was a favourite to win. I thought he'd do it, and yeah, you've done me proud.
There we are.
Tomorrow, an audience in here, completely different kind of evening. How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, that's more my atmosphere. I'm not used to sitting here dead quiet. It's one-on-one, best darts wins, but it's also completely different than what I'm used to playing. But at the same time, playing Dave is always hard for me, because I'm used to playing him week in, week out, tournament after tournament, back at home. So that was a tough game for me, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely, and a game to determine who topped the group as well. David going through with you is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because you know him quite well, both know each other's game inside out.
Yeah, it could go one way or another, and that's the thing. He's that good that he can make shots at the right times, but he benefits in situations, and if you give him a chance, he's going to take it, and that's just how good he is. But at the same time, if you play your game and you don't give him those opportunities, then chances are you might get them too. So it's going to be a tough day tomorrow, but looking forward to the challenge.
We've enjoyed watching you and actually all the players in this group. It's felt from a darts fan's perspective like there's been a really good camaraderie between the players in the group. Has that been the case in the practice room?
Yeah, 100% back in the practice. Hanging out with Andy Hamilton, that's been the beans for me. You know what I mean? He's such a nice guy, but he's a competitor, and you can see it in his game. And I actually think Andy's probably the best player here this week so far. But we'll see what happens tomorrow.
What about John Michael? He's been a bit of a character on the stage. Murph can't stop laughing at him in the commentary box. What's he like in the back room?
John's a very good friend of mine, but he can be hard work at times. But he's hilarious. He's good fun, and like I said, he can beat, and that's the problem. And I found that out today because he got me the first game.
He did. There was one moment we actually did want to ask you about. It happened during your match with Tommy Morris, and I think you guys had a little bit of fun on the stage. We're just seeing it right now on that monitor. So you get this leg in the ledger on double one. And you give it the old silence, so what was all that about?
He told me before the game, he said, when I get a leg off you, he said, I'm going to give it the gun. So, and he did. And then when I said, but when I get you, I said, I'm going to give you the silencer treatment. So, and it was nothing more than that, but it was good fun. He's a really nice kid, 100%, and he can play darts.
And that's what it's all about, isn't it? That kind of camaraderie between the players, playing it in the right spirit as well.
It is a very different environment here. I tend to find it's not as sort of intense or as ruthless as you'd get out on the tours, where you sort of keep yourselves to yourselves a little bit more. It's not a massive room down there, and everyone's sort of in the room together and sort of here for the same sort of common goal. So you tend to find actually you've actually formed friendships and relationships here with your opponents whilst being in the same arena.
Yeah, let's take a look at the league table. This will make good reading for you, Jeff, because you're top of it. 12 points, just 2 defeats on your debut. It looks like a pretty good couple of nights' work.
Yeah, and both defeats, I felt I was in both games. So, I'm pretty happy going in tomorrow. And like I said, this is brand new to me, and it's a different situation. But I'm looking forward to having a crowd in tomorrow. Definitely going to make the difference.
Yeah, and a couple of your biggest fans are going to be here as well, because I've already mentioned Matthew Edgar, but Paul Nicholson's going to be part of our commentary team tomorrow as well. I know he's a good friend of yours.
Yeah, he's taken me out to lunch today, actually. We had a great day. Went around the coast, seen the ocean, and he beat me at basketball and golf, or bowling, or whatever it is, a ski thing that you guys call. But he's pretty good at that kind of stuff. But looking forward to seeing him here tomorrow.
Yeah, it should be fun. Let's have a look at the 6 players in finals night tomorrow. This is the way the week has played out. So Bradley Roos won Group A earlier in the week. Ivo Lexma went through Group C this afternoon with Jensen Walker. And tonight, Jeff Smith, David Cameron and Andy Hamilton. Kind of a finals night of 2 halves, Matt, isn't it? We've got 3 kind of upcoming players with lots of potential, and then 3 really experienced operators coming through tonight.
Good mix, isn't it? It's got all the ingredients there to give us a really good finals night. We've got Jensen Walker, someone very exciting, but very, very early in his career. Not just in the fact that he's young, but he didn't go through things like academies and youth events like a lot of the players like Bradley Rose has, who has picked up 2 junior world championships. He's very, very new to darts, as in he only picked the darts up during lockdown as an activity to do. So great story there developing, but I think they're going to have their hands full with this lot tonight from Group B.
Yeah, it's not a team game though. It's that everyone's in for themselves tomorrow night, Jeff, and you certainly will be. But when we talk about the sort of dynamic in the sport at the moment, obviously we've all seen the Littler effect, as they're calling it, and a lot of that kind of started here at the Super Series as well. The game's in a great place, isn't it, worldwide? What's it like over in North America at the moment?
Yeah, we're finding it. I own a company back home, and we supply dart supplies and stuff, and everything since what Luke's doing, and Luke Humphreys, you can't take anything away from him either. It's the game's exploding, and we're all reaping the rewards from it, and hopefully it continues, definitely.
And I'm sure there'll be a few tuning in to see yourself and David from across the Atlantic tomorrow night. What would it mean to you to go on that stage tomorrow, take the trophy, make it through to Champions Week at your first attempt?
Yeah, nothing would please me any more than to play Dave in the final again tomorrow night. So it's, you know what I mean, just 6 of one, half of than the other. I know we have great players here, but put the head down, time to go to work.
Usually this is a time that I would ask our pundit who they think is going to win tomorrow night. And now normally I wouldn't if there's a player sat next to him, but I think I know the answer. So do you want to just endear yourself to Jeff Moore and say he's going to win tomorrow?
When this lineup came out last week and we saw it on the Thursday and we knew what players was coming up, I picked out my winner from that point and I've stuck with it and I've been with it ever since. It's the man sat next to me right now. I think Jeff takes the title.
Yeah, he's normally I want him to be wrong, but hopefully he is right tomorrow.
The only reason is because I gave him cricket information on how to beat Danny Baggett.
It didn't work. I got the information, I just didn't apply it correctly.
Yeah, it sounds a familiar story for you, but a familiar story for you as well, Jeff. Really successful. Well done tonight. Good luck tomorrow. We'll see you then. We'll see you tomorrow as well, and hopefully we will see you live here at the Super Series. The action gets underway from 7:30 UK time on the MODUS Super Series YouTube channel. We hope to see you at finals night.